Welcome to another deep dive into the wonders of human development, brought to you by King of the Curve. Infancy is one of the most transformative periods in human life. It's a time of rapid growth, reflexive responses, and foundational learning. Today, we'll uncover the reflexes that keep newborns safe, the preferences that guide their early interactions, and the building blocks that set the stage for a lifetime of development. Infancy is a remarkable period that spans from birth to the first year of life. This phase is characterized by dramatic physical, cognitive, and emotional changes. During this time, infants begin to adapt to the outside world, establishing connections with caregivers and exploring their environment in their own unique ways. A hallmark of infancy is the presence of reflexes, automatic, innate responses originating from the central nervous system. These reflexes are critical for survival and help infants interact with their environment before they develop voluntary control. To better understand the importance of infancy, let's dive into these fascinating reflexes and their role in early development. Let's begin with reflexes, nature's tools for survival and adaptation. Reflexes are automatic responses that all healthy infants exhibit, ensuring they can navigate their environment from the very first moments of life. One of the most well-known reflexes is the Moro reflex, or the startle reflex. This is triggered by a sudden movement or loud noise. The infant's response is to throw back their head, extend their arms and legs, and then quickly pull them back in. This reflex, present from birth, is thought to be an evolutionary mechanism to help babies respond to potential threats. It typically fades by 6 months. Another critical reflex is the rooting reflex, which plays a central role in feeding. When an infant's cheek is gently stroked, they instinctively turn their head toward the stimulus and open their mouth as though searching for a nipple. This reflex ensures that newborns can locate nourishment in the early days of life. Closely linked to rooting is the sucking reflex. When an object touches the roof of the baby's mouth, they automatically begin to suck. This reflex is essential for feeding and provides a basis for later voluntary behaviors. The Babinski reflex is another fascinating phenomenon. When you gently stroke the sole of a baby's foot, the big toe moves upward and the other toes fan out. This reflex disappears as the nervous system matures further. Let's not forget the tonic neck reflex, sometimes called the fencer's pose. When a baby's head is turned to one side, the arm on that side stretches outward while the opposite arm bends at the elbow. This reflex, which typically fades by 5 to 7 months, is thought to prepare infants for voluntary reaching. The palmar grasp reflex is another instinctive behavior. When an infant's palm is stroked, they grip tightly onto whatever touched them. This reflex is a precursor to voluntary grasping and is crucial for bonding moments with caregivers. Finally, the stepping reflex is displayed when you hold an infant upright with their feet touching a flat surface. The baby instinctively moves their legs as though walking. Although this reflex disappears around 6 weeks, it reemerges between 8 and 12 months as infants learn to walk independently. Reflexes aren't the only innate behaviors guiding infants. From birth, babies show preferences that shape their interactions and learning. These preferences are deeply rooted in evolution and designed to foster social connection. Newborns are particularly drawn to faces. When presented with various images, they consistently prefer those that resemble a human face. This preference helps infants bond with caregivers and develop early social skills. Another remarkable preference is for voices, especially those of their caregivers. Studies have shown that newborns turn their heads toward the sound of a human voice, indicating an inherent interest in social engagement. Even more impressively, infants can distinguish their mother's voice and scent from others, showcasing an early capacity to recognize familiarity. Infancy is not just a time for reflexive behaviors and preferences, it's the period where the foundation for future development is laid. Reflexes such as the palmar grasp eventually evolve into voluntary grasping, enabling infants to interact more purposefully with their surroundings. Similarly, the stepping reflex, while temporary, prepares infants for the motor coordination they'll need to walk. These early responses highlight the interconnectedness of reflexive and voluntary behaviors in human development. Beyond physical growth, infancy is also a time of emotional and social development. Babies rely on caregivers to meet their needs, and in doing so, they form strong emotional bonds that influence their sense of trust and security. Caregivers play an essential role in supporting an infant's development, responding to reflexive cues such as crying, rooting, or grasping helps build trust and fosters emotional security. Simple actions like skin to skin contact, soothing words, and consistent care create a nurturing environment where infants can thrive. Research also shows that infants thrive in environments filled with interaction. Talking, singing, and playing with infants not only stimulate their senses, but also promote cognitive and emotional growth. Reflexes serve as more than survival mechanisms. They also provide critical insights into a baby's neurological health. During routine checkups, doctors assess these reflexes to ensure that an infant's nervous system is developing properly. Infancy is a remarkable journey of reflexes, preferences, and rapid growth. Reflexes such as the Moro, rooting, and palmar grasp ensure survival and adaptation, while sensory preferences lay the foundation for social connections and early learning. From responding to reflexes to engaging in playful interactions, caregivers have a profound impact on an infant's development, shaping their path toward a healthy and fulfilling life. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of infancy. If you're as fascinated by human development as we are, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. To dive deeper into developmental psychology and access exclusive resources, visit us at kotc.me. Join King of the Curve, and together, let's conquer the curve.